Hey, Junie. I'm early just by a minute or two. Wish me luck. I'm winging this. Haven't felt good today, so I slept most of the day. Can you hear me okay? Watcher says um, she'll be in Bible study. And if we're here when she gets back, she'll pop in. Hey, Nico. How you doing? Okay, good. You can hear me. Yeah, I haven't felt good today, so I had a lot to do too, but I didn't get it done. I laid down and slept most of the afternoon. I've been really tired the last 2 days. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try to do the best I can. So we'll wait for people to come in. How are you guys? It's cold again here. StreamYard's so delayed. I'm going to... Hey, band. And my printer wouldn't work today. I mean, it just decides when it will and when it won't. I mean, it never wants to work for... Hey, Lake. It never wants to work for my lives. It will work for other things, though. But it's like... Hey, Ivy. Hey, Crime. I really want to do this one story too. I'll have to talk to Mel about it. I think she talked a little about it one night, and it's a cold case, but still, I would like maybe to see if she'll come on one night and talk about it. It's an Indiana crime. We'll have to see though. She's probably working right now. I did schedule this early. Um, y'all voted that you would like me to do them early when I can. So, and it does kind of work out for me. While we're waiting on people come in, I'll just jibber jabber for a minute. I think you all know that I've been here for about, well, maybe it's going on 15 months, and I still have things to unpack. And I was working on my grandkids' rooms, and well, I left them a mess, and they're coming this weekend, and so I have to clean that up. And I was supposed to be doing that today, but as I said, I'm just so tired and I wasn't feeling that good, so I'm like, I'm going to take a nap. Well, the nap turned into I didn't get up until after 5. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. I really don't. I lost it. But anyways, yeah. But I've got to get that done tonight because tomorrow's a big day. Mom's got appointments, and so, but I am very excited because it's been a while since they've been here. You know, I've just been going and seeing them at my son's. So Anyway, oh, I think I was just saying that I like to do these early when I can. There's some nights I can't. I have to do them when my normal time. But hey, Chris. Um, oh, and don't forget Incog on Saturday, guys. She's going to be talking about the West Memphis 3. That shall be interesting. I think everybody has different opinions on that. Mine may change after that, though. Who knows? So I am going to start. Bear with me, guys. I'm winging it. So this is about Jennifer Kesse. And yes, Cold Truth Sunday. Sorry. Thank you very much, Lake. This is a Florida case. Crime, and Sharon's not here yet. You guys are probably familiar with this. She was born on May 20th, and she was born to Drew and Joyce Kesse, and she had a brother, Logan. And she went missing January 24th, 2006, at 24 years. Now, there are some places that say she went missing on the 23rd, but she did go missing on the 24th. And so that's been almost 15 years now. And yeah, her family, they're still not giving up. So, okay. She was very smart, very beautiful, well loved by everybody. Very family oriented, very, excuse me, very close to her family. She worked at Westgate Resort. So she ended up purchasing her very first condo all on her own. And that was next to Mall of Millennia in Orlando, which they say, and I don't know this, but Crime and Sharon may be due. I guess it's a huge, huge mall. Her boyfriend's name was Rob Allen. They had a long distance relationship, so they would go on little short trips and vacations together. So they went to, they met up in St. Croix, had a getaway weekend, and it was a great weekend. They got back on Sunday night, and she went ahead and stayed at his place that night. And then she got up early the next day, and she went back to Orlando, went to work, and then she just hung out at home that night. And she talked to a few people. Hey, Yorkie, how are you? I bet you can't wait till Saturday for West Memphis. So, where was I? Let's see. Yeah, she just hung out at home that night. She talked to her mom on the phone. She talked to her boyfriend, and she talked to her best friend. So, the next day, she did not show up for work. Hey, Sharon. You're probably familiar with this. she didn't show up for work. She had an 11 o'clock meeting. And everybody at work was like, this is not like her. She doesn't do this. She never misses. She wouldn't miss a meeting. So they called her parents. And of course, her parents were acting the same way. Um, and they tried to call her, and her phone went straight to voicemail. Well, the reason for that was her phone was turned off and her battery was removed. She also had her friend's phone, and she was sending it back to her friend. So that phone was turned off, but which it would have been because she was sending it back. So then so her parents decided to go to her condo and check things out, check if she was there, what was going on. On the way, they called the complex and asked if her car was there, black Chevy Impala. It was not. And also, she didn't call her boyfriend that morning, which she always does. But he just assumed, she was having a really busy day at work. And so I want to make sure I'm not missing a piece of paper here. Nope. Okay, so and he wasn't considered really ever a POI. But that was out of the ordinary that she didn't call him. But like I said, he thought she was really busy. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I'm missing some notes. So anyway, they got to the apartment, and all of her personal things were gone, other than her pepper spray. She would always take her pepper spray, so that was unusual. She had clothes laid out on the bed, the shower. There was water in the shower and everything. They called the police, and the police were like, well, she just got in a fight with her boyfriend, probably. She took off and she'll be back. And that was it. And her ex-boyfriend was a POI, but I don't think it was real strong because everybody knew how hard the breakup was. They knew how in love with her he was and everything. But he was at the bar that night across the street from her condo. But it didn't go anywhere. Now, there were construction workers, a lot of them around her condo because they were making more condos and stuff. She felt very uneasy around them because she complained to her parents about it, that they were she was getting catcalled by them and stuff. Hey, Mel. And they were making advances to her and stuff, and she had told her parents about that. And so and there were no security cameras either around there, and there was no security. So I'm sorry if I'm not doing this in order. I'm kind of jumping around. I do feel like I've lost some notes here. Thursday of that week, somebody had called and reported a car that looked like Jennifer's at another complex. So cops went there and it was her car, but no Jennifer. And so Ellie brought her boyfriend, Rob, there, and he noticed that the seat was positioned differently. For example, you know, she would sit up a little further to the steering wheel while the seat was back further, meaning whoever moved the car, they had longer legs. Also, um, they had found a DVD player in there, and this is according to Kendall Ray's video she done on this, which y'all know I like Kendall Ray. So it didn't look like anybody was trying to rob her or steal from her. There were, I need to point this out because 48 Hours done a thing on this. They had said that there were construction workers staying across from her unit or like in, but her dad did an interview to correct that, and they were staying close by, but they weren't staying across from her unit. They were staying like away from. They were staying in the area. So I did want to point that out. They did, by the way, get where the car was found. There was cameras, so but they only got a grainy pic of the person parking the car and getting out, and then they got 2 still pics, and it stinks because both of those pics, the person's face and body feet were blocked by the fence, like the fence posts. So they're not sure of the gender. Some people thinks it's a man, some people thinks it's a woman, but you can't really tell because, so that really sucks for the case, for the evidence, for the cops. And now there's a coworker that wanted to date her, but she kept telling him no, she wouldn't date anybody from work. That made him upset. So he had made a comment at work to some of the other coworkers. He said, well, she's probably been eaten by gators by now. So when he made that comment, other coworkers reported him. He was late to work that day. He didn't get to work until noon. And his excuse was he said he got a speeding ticket. Now, in one video, it said that was his proof. But I've read elsewhere that he did not prove that. That was just what he said. However, you would think they would go to the lengths to have that proven. So I cannot verify one way or another if it was proven or not. Hey, Cher. I just can only go by what I've read and saw. One video said it was proven. Everything else I read said it wasn't. I don't know if it was or not. So anyway, the family have done everything they can, and they're not going to give up. Also, they do think they're looking towards her being trafficked. I'm not sure what my opinion is. It could be a possibility, of course. anything's possible. Um, but I know that they're not giving up. Um, it's been 15 years. Um, they wanted fresh eyes on the case. They have hired a new investigator, and his name is Mike Toretta. They had to take Orlando Police Department to court to get the case files and get all the information because they refused to give it to them. They said they wouldn't do it because it was an active investigation, but they did finally get that. So, and I know I read somewhere or watched something to where even the FBI wanted that done. And I think the FBI may be involved now. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But they did win. They did get all the information. And that's where it stands now. They're not giving up. Um, but I'll tell you what. Thank you, Chris. I'll tell you what, though. She has some go-getters and tough fighting parents and a brother. Her brother Logan. Um, but most of us would be like that. Most of us parents wouldn't give up, would we? Um, but the one guy, her coworker, he bothers me by what he said. Um, I mean, I guess I don't live in Florida, but I know Sharon and Crime does. Crime said all the time, mentioned all the time. She said it's nothing to see a gator walking past my house. So, I mean, maybe the guy didn't mean anything by it. Um, in his mind, maybe he's thinking because the parents even said in an interview that I watched that day they were out there. Um, that day they hit the streets with flyers and everything, trying to get all the attention, to let people know she was missing and everything because they said they knew within 3 hours and by dark if she wasn't found, then, it could mean really bad for her. So, I mean, he could have just been thinking in his head that, by now, if she's not found, you know. So he may not have meant what we think he meant, but it still is something. And then he's late for work that day. That just shines some suspicion on him. So, but that's all I've got, guys. That's it for that. So, anybody have opinions? I don't mean I'm signing off. I just mean uh, that's all I had on that. I just winged it the best I could. And I know Yorkie, I'm gonna give Yorkie T a shout out because I saw that he said the other night, well, I'm looking into the Jennifer Kesse case. And so I looked it up and it looked really interesting. And that's why I'm doing this tonight. So shout out to you, Yorkie T. Thank you. I probably didn't do as good a job though for you. You probably know more about it than me. Let me go through comments, see if I missed anything or anybody. I think I got everybody. It is crazy, Yorkie, and it's sad. And by the way, Yorkie, I love your new name. You shortened it. I love that. Why did I call Yorkie a he? I didn't mean to. I know she's a she. It might have been out of habit because, everybody did think she was a he, and that's why she changed her picture. I'm sorry if I did. Hey, uh, Mel, is Mel still here? She's a popper. She pops here and pops there, pops in, pops out. Okay. Well, in the beginning, I was telling people that one night, and I know you've already talked about it a little bit. Um, One night, I would like you to come on and talk about an Indiana cold case. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Um, just because I don't know that a lot of people know about it, and I know you did talk about it, but not in depth. And even I didn't, you know a whole lot about it, and I still really don't. Um, Ashamed to say. So if you would be willing to some night, that would be great. Melba Houdini. Yep. So how is everybody? That's a good question, Chris. I'm sure they did. They didn't. I mean, it didn't really say, but I'm sure they did. They did do massive searches too. Um, One was volunteers, like 1,400 volunteers. I mean, the first day I wasn't happy with the Ellie's reaction by, well, she just probably got in a fight with her boyfriend and took off. Well, I mean, I don't think she did. The boyfriend and her were fine, and I don't. Doesn't even sound like they checked that out or anything. But oh, have you, Yorkie? Hey, Hubs. The thing I don't, when I sometimes I can't, I don't like when I research cases is sometimes you can't find on this case like or on something else. It can't be on this case because they haven't found her. You must be talking about. Um, but when I go to research cases, sometimes what? Well, I wonder how they know that. Well, I mean, I guess they could. New police photos. Hmm. Well, what I was going to say though is that a lot of times I can't find like the original news articles or videos from like when it first happened, like the original. I think I might have to, and I don't know if news.com has that. I think they mainly have like cold cases. And this isn't a cold case, right? Because it's active. That's what they say. Um, I need to figure out how I can do that because yeah, a lot of my sources will tell the story from the beginning, but I still like to have reference from the get go. That helps a lot. Evidence shows a violent struggle happened on hood of her car. Well, I wonder why that didn't pop up for me. Lake, you're going to have to partner up with me, girl. But thank you for telling us that. I, it obviously, the thing is the question is did, I kind of don't think it, I mean, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth if something happened at her apartment as she was leaving or because they were questioning like that chapter. I really like him. I've said that 1,000 times to you guys. um or if it happened on the way to her to work, someone jumped in her car, like while she was sitting at a stoplight. That's not impossible. That happened to somebody years ago in Lafayette. Um but it's like, how did it happen? How and when? I mean, it could have happened that night at her apartment, right? After she was done talking to everybody. Ah, I love you too, Lake. Thank you, honey. Yes, Yorkie. Yes. I did. That's what I was saying is that really stinks for this case and the evidence because they had the grainy like video, when with the car, and then the still pics, you know, they were both behind the gate, the fence posts, so you couldn't really see anything. And, you know, they couldn't tell the gender. People were guessing. Well, some people thought it was a woman, some people thought it was a man. I mean, that really sucked for this case because, you know, oh no, you're not dumb, Lake. So, but yeah, I've been kind of wondering, like, when did she get abducted? I mean, we know for a fact she was abducted. So, was it from her apartment? Was it on the way to work? Did she stop somewhere? But I'm thinking, not that crimes don't happen in broad daylight. We obviously know they do. But, she did talk to people on the phone that night. But what happened after that? And there were those construction workers that were staying nearby, you know. But she was one, something I did not mention. Her parents taught her all about safety. Um, so she was very cautious and very safe because her parents were held at gunpoint once. So they raised their kids to be very cautious and safe. However, I think some people always let their guard down. So, could somebody have knocked on her door? She went ahead and answered it. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's something we can't answer. Hey, Mary Wood, how are you? Yes, they did, Mary. They did. She told her parents that. They made her feel very uncomfortable. They made advances at her. It was Yorkie. It was. It really, really stinks. It does. It's really sad, actually. That's okay, Lake. What okay, give us your opinion, Chris. We're open to everything. Okay, Lake, we will. What's your opinion, Chris? Because we don't really know. I'm just saying that had to be what happened because she's gone, but her car's left. But what do you think? Thank you, Nick. I mean, I could have found it too. I'm just talking, is all. Yeah, I agree. Like, Lexi's on a trip tonight here. But at least she's not being loud. I don't want to say that too loud, or she will get loud. Well, howdy, watcher. How was Bible study? Speaking of that, I think I've already told you all. Next week, I may not be on. I might, but I may not. So if I'm not, everything's fine. We're doing Operation Christmas Child at church. Um, and that means we're packing boxes for children overseas that will get their first ever Christmas box. Um, and this weekend, my grandkids are going to pack a box, and they are very excited. And our church is a drop off location, so that's why I'll be there all week. Um, oh, Sharon dropped the link, by the way. Thank you, Sharon. I know. How was it? Sharon got it, Chris. Thank you. But you didn't give us your opinion, did you? Or did you? I don't think you did. You don't have to, though, Chris, if you don't want to. Uh, Oh, that's what you meant, Chris. Yes, that would be awesome because it needs awareness because the family is, I mean, they are still, they're not giving up. Unconcluded. Okay, thank you, Yorkie. Thank you. So, how is the weather for everybody that's not in Indiana? Because I know how the weather is here. It's going to be chilly this weekend, which really is not good for my grandkids. I was going to say, do you hear her? She's saying tickle, 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 tickle. And then she's making rocket noises and she's laughing. Is it, Sharon? That's good. We had such good weather for quite a few days, and it's like, wow, in November. And now we're back to this. I mean, it could be worse, though, for Indiana in November. Couldn't it, guys? Those of us that are here. I mean, I shouldn't complain. She should, shouldn't she? Like, who knows? They store things in their brain sometimes for like, and, they talk it when they decide to. Oh, yes, I know. I know. I was praying for y'all because I mean, I went to bed last night and I was, because you got your notifications, then you got subscriptions. And I was going through there and there was nothing but, I think it was last night, maybe it's the night before, nothing but um, news about Florida. And I like, oh man. Oh, really, Nico? Well, we have 50% chance of rain this weekend too, and that it's like I hate that because for my grandkids, because they can't not gonna be able to play outside. I got all this land and African gray, Wendy, African gray. She's about oh, I'm terrible with ages. Trying to remember. I had her before I had my Dushy. She must be about 16 now, then, I think, if I'm right. And I think my Charlie is 2 years younger than her. When I brought Charlie home, he was naked. He didn't even have a feather on him. I hand fed him. And he doesn't, he just gets really loud. He screams opera. And he will talk in a real low robotic voice. He will say, "Hi, Charlie." Um, he loves my niece, and that's who he's going to be willed to. Yeah, they're awesome, Wendy. And I didn't train her any of this. Um, Now, my husband taught her to say peekaboo, but everything else she picked up on her own. And she is very smart. If I'm upset about something and I'm talking, she'll say, calm down. Or I'll say something and she'll say, what? So I'll repeat it to her because I want her to be included. I want her to know. And she'll say, okay. I know, Nico. I know. She's okay. She's just sleuthing, working on different things. I miss her too, though, because her and I would get together a lot, and we haven't for quite a while because, well, COVID mainly, and then busy, her busy, me busy. I don't even think, gosh, I think it's been probably a month at least, if not longer, that we've talked on the phone. Um, yeah. I will message her, Nico, and let her know you said that. I miss all you guys. There's some of you that I call and talk to, and I've been so busy I haven't been able to. But you're always on my mind. I'm always talking about you. Talk to you about to my husband, to my mom, my son, my church people. Well, Watcher, when you go back and watch, I'm gonna let you know it's really not that. It's really not that long. Um, I I wasn't feeling good today. Um, I had a lot to do, but I didn't get it done because I was just the last 2 days I've been super tired and I wasn't feeling good. And I ended up laying down and I slept the whole afternoon. So I kind of winged it. I feel bad. I'm sorry. But when you go back and watch it, it won't take you that long. But I'm going to look into that podcast Yorkie said too. This really is a sad case. I feel really bad for the family. They're very devoted. Do you, Wendy? I hope I'm not missing comments. I'm trying not to, and I know that I do sometimes. Raining from the hurricane and muggy. Starting to cool off, though. It's unheard of to be mowing grass mid-November. Yeah, but when you get snow there, Wendy, it's usually gone the next day or two, isn't it? Yeah, she barks crime. I will, Nico. Yorkie, that is a possibility. That could be true. People sometimes get other people involved and they don't even know what they're doing or why they're doing it. And they're just doing it for a friend or for somebody and they don't know. But they should ask questions too. Well, why? Why don't you do it? What? Yes, they have crime. And they're not, I don't think they'll ever let it go. I mean, most parents wouldn't, but yeah. No, Wendy. I usually do check in on his every night. I usually miss the live, but I mean, I don't always miss the live, but even if I do, I check in on his. But last night I went to bed. I'm telling you, I was so tired. I bet I was asleep within 10 or 15 minutes. Um, I've just been so tired yesterday and today, and I don't know why, because I've been feeling a lot better since I went to the doctor and he figured out what was wrong, put me on an antibiotic, and I don't know if it's the weather change or what's going on, but I mean, I feel a little better right now after I slept all that time, but I will tell you though, and I should have told my doctor, I thought I had an issue with this antibiotic he's got me on. It does make me nauseous a little, even I take it with food. I will go back and look at that live though, Wendy. What case was it? Oh, hey man, I wear PJs to Walmart. I wore my robe one time, and my grandson said, I am not going in there, Grandma. It wasn't a plan. It was not a plan at all. I mean, I was just, it wasn't real cold out, but it was cold for me. I'm very cold blooded, and I just ran in town to pick up my grandbabies. So I was just going to get them and come back home. I had no plans of stopping anywhere. And he, I forgot, we needed a new Netflix thing or Roku box because I can't remember why. And they asked me, they're like, Grandma, did you get a new Roku box? And I'm like, no, I forgot. And, I had to get a new Roku box, for my grandkids, And I'm like, I'll stop at Walmart and we were pulling in and he's like, Grandma, you got your robe on. And I'm like, so, everybody wears their PJs and it was real early too. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, well, I am not going in there with you. I'm like, boy, you are, or you're not getting a Roku box because you're not staying out in this car. And I'm like, you know, in this day and age, no way. I never even left my kid in the car by himself when even at probably 12 years old. That's a no. And he's like, I am not, Grandma. I am not going in there with with you and your robe. I said, then boy, you're not getting a Roku. We'll just go on home. Well, he went in there with me with my robe on. Are you kidding me? People all the time wear their PJs, but I got cool PJs though, anyways. But they do. They wear their PJs all over. I don't wear my robe in Walmart no more. I don't even wear it up to the station. But yeah, it was funny. 'Cause my other grandkids, they were like, I'll go in there with you, Grandma. I said, well, he's going in too. He's not staying out in this car. Oh, really, Wendy? Well, I do like his channel. I really do because he has the interviews, and it like he says, he gets it from the horse's mouth. Um, Victor Duenas Sr. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember my mom ever leaving us either. Super cool PJs. Yeah, that's true too, crime in our Walmart too. Hurry back, Cher. Yeah. Speaking of my birds, though, I've got to get them in. They need, well, I can do their wings myself. I don't like to because I feel like they think I'm being mean, even though it doesn't hurt them at all. Um, but I don't like doing their nails. Um, I did have a solder tool, and it's for birds for their nails, but I can't remember what I did. I'm gonna have to order one because I will not clip them. Um, I used to, but one time I went too deep, and it didn't really hurt them or anything, but I had to call the avian vet that was on call. It was in the nighttime. It was on a Sunday, actually. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cut her too deep. It's bleeding and blah, 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 blah. She's like, well, do you have this? Do you have that? She's like, you got flour. She's like, just put some flour on there. And it was called, because what usually you should keep around it, it's called stop something, I think. But anyways, I put flour on there and it stopped the bleeding right away. So I won't clip their nails. And I don't like clipping my dog's nails either because the things you get in the store, it seems like it don't cut them short enough with the guard. But if you move the guard, it cuts them too short. So I always have the vet clip their nails too because I used to cut their nails too. And one time I went too deep with my Dushy. So I don't do that anymore either. Yeah, like, yes, quick stop. That's what it's called, quick stop. She's talking to dogs now. She laughed and she said, girl. And she's saying, come here. I've heard her say the same things over and over and over for all these years, but it still amazes me. I never get tired of it. And her and Charlie never go at the same time. It's like they respect each other, even though they don't like each other. I'm not going to say Charlie don't like her, though. She's very territorial. She was like the first one, and she takes ownership. And you'd think my bigger dogs would have been that way when we brought Ollie in, but nope. His little shorty butt, he come in and he owns the place. Welcome back, Share Bear. So anything new? I think what it is, Oh, hold on. I'll get right back to that, Watcher. I've been over there on YouTube and not in here. Now I can put comments up. On Monday night, my husband fell in the bathroom and cracked. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Is he okay now, Yorkie? Mmm. That's horrible. While I'm waiting on Yorkie to respond, I think what it is, Watcher or Wendy, with bigger dogs. Yes, I will absolutely pray, Yorkie. Is he at home? Oh, goodness. Yes, we absolutely will. Absolutely. Pray that more lucid today. Oh, good. That's good news. Well, we will pray that the doctors will be guided and for healing, Yorkie. So, so sorry. He's improving. That's good news. Oh, I bet, Yorkie. I bet. My dogs are the same way. Dogs are so smart. They know what time my husband comes home, and my Labradoodle and Ollie are up here waiting for him every night. I agree, Chris. I agree. Or they got really lucky one. Oh goodness. That's sad, Wendy. Yes. Prayers for his family. Yeah, Yorkie. I know. It does, like it does. Things happen unexpectedly. We don't, and it's, oh goodness, Wendy. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I've only been, well, it popped up in my memories. I think it was yesterday, or it just popped up on my Facebook. It says, you have been married to, your husband, or been to get, you have been with your husband for 28 years. Because we've been married 26, but this month we met 28 years ago. And I was like, and I just couldn't imagine my life without him. That's sad, Wendy. We'll be praying for her too. You've been with somebody that long, it's like you become one. You just can't imagine. And you hear about some people being married 60 years, 70 years, and like, you know, since high school. And then it's kind of, I mean, this is kind of, I'm kind of going off topic, it's my ADD, maybe off topic a little, but, and then it's like nowadays, people can't even make a marriage last for 2 years. Hey, Automobile, how are you? Yeah, Otto can come in here and just snap us out of everything, make a sad moment turn into glad. How you doing, Otto? I mean, some marriages have to be um, dissolved or whatever, because of abuse or something, but others, people just, I don't know. I'll be quiet. Get myself in trouble. Well, that was nice of them, Yorkie. I would hope so. That's very nice of them. It did, Otto. That is bad news for you, isn't it, buddy? That would be bad news for my husband too. He's if he's listening, I'm not even going to say it. Well, I was just going to say it's but it goes both ways probably because he has to listen to me talk about you know and he does listen all my stuff, and I listen to him talk about his tractors all the time or what he's working on all the time because he is always working on something, and if he doesn't have something to work on, he finds something to work on. I wish I had my husband's energy. My husband has a John Deere. I think he has two John Deeres, and he has, I don't know what the other one is. I don't even know how many he has. I know he has three for sure. Yes, it is great to see Otto. Well, pretty soon though, you won't need them, Otto, unless you use well, unless like my husband, he uses it. He puts a plow on his and uses it in the wintertime. You probably do that too. And he gets all excited about it too. I mean, it's like a boy with a toy. I'm like, oh goodness. There he is. Two John Deere. Yep, plow. I was right, Otto. I knew you probably did. He was working on our generator. I think he got mad and gave it up and said, we're just going to have to get a new one. I don't use them. I've never been on a riding lawnmower. He keeps saying, you want me to teach you? No, that's your job. I want a golf cart though. And by George, one of these days I'm getting one. Other night though, I freaked out. I was like, what is going on? This guy was on a golf cart on our road, which is extremely busy. And so you never see it. But he had a big bright light, bright as a cop's light, flashing it in everybody's yard. And I hollered at my husband and I told him, and he said, oh, they're looking for a dog. I think they lost their dog. And I said, oh, Hub says he's getting chickens, but I don't know when. Oh, goodness, Otto. I just don't know where he's going to put them because I don't want him, we've got a fence for our dogs, but it's huge. I mean, it's huge. And I don't want them to be where Ollie can, it will drive him crazy. He'll be, yeah, but Lake, I don't think you have that many. I'm just going back to when we had ours. I don't think you really have that many. I think you'll want to keep them really because of the eggs. But it's up to you, of course. Just tell your hubby you don't want any more and stand your ground. Really, Yorkie? Some people like craftsmen, but that's just like everything. Some people prefer iPhone, some people prefer Android. I remember I used to say I didn't like iPhones. I thought they were too difficult to use. And then one of my friends that I actually met through, Delphi case, uh, she's like, just try it, just get one and try it. Especially, I think then it was the iPhone 6. which it was bigger. Because I mean, them iPhone 5s, man, they were dinky. So I did, and man, I loved it. And from then on, I have been iPhone only. So, I mean, it's just different opinion, you know. Right, Otto? Yeah. And just like cars, some people prefer Fords, some people prefer Chevys, some people prefer me. I like Jap cars because I think they run forever. They always have for me. Although I guess my Kias are Korean made. I don't know. However, I can say my husband was a Ford man, and they never did him wrong. Yeah, Toyotas seem to run forever. Subarus. Yep. Jap cars. Everybody's got different opinions on what they like. Shoes. Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to sign off. I'm going to try to clear out my grandkids' rooms. Just a recommendation. If you get a golf cart, get a gas one, not electric. I think that's what my husband said too. We wanted to get a gas one if we got one. I'm a United Auto worker. Hey, Otto, do you have a golf cart? No. I was just wondering. I was going to say, hey, not very far from me. I'd just say, hey, Otto, can I borrow your golf cart? I was just joking. What kind? Is it a Ford? I bet it's a Ford. That's right, Yorkie. Curious if I'm going to change my mind. Share mine's done that before too. And then I have a problem getting it back. I can't remember how you do it. Um, Dodge Dakota. Um, my one side of my family or part of my family, that's all they drive are Dodges, except my one cousin now he drives Fords. But yeah. So it's just a, taste of choice. Some people swear by this and swear by that. It's just our opinions. Um, Share, let me see if I can remember how you do that. Let's see. I think it is the theater mode button. If you hit that, I think it'll go back to normal. Don't quote me on that. But I think you don't have to worry about it, honey, because I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I want to thank you for always being here and supporting me. And I know I say this all the time, but I only say it because I truly mean it. I hope you all know how much you mean to me and how much it means that you are here. And if any of you have a case you want me to look into, send it to me, please, at my email, delphijustice@gmail.com. And Yorkie, if you have one from your area, because I don't mind doing cases that are not in the States, you're welcome to send me one. Okay. So thank you all for coming. I love you all. Have a good night and a good day, good weekend, okay? Hey, Chuck, hi and bye. Thanks for stopping in. All right, guys, good night. Sweet dreams. God bless.